Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mel Chadwick, I'm an illustrator, and in this video I want to talk to you about a collaboration I have been doing with another artist. Her name is Pippa and she is a potter, and she's based on the Lizard Peninsula in her own studio. Her studio is actually called Lowenek Studio, and hopefully in the next month you will actually get to hear a bit more about her and how she started her business, as last year I did film and record a creative conversation with her. So hopefully that will be coming up in the next month or so. But before then, I just wanted to share with you this collaboration that we've been working on together. So we're going to be launching the collaboration hopefully before the end of February. We're trying to make some seasonal work together. So she has created a beautiful little jug which has been made with pressed snowdrops and also has snowdrops around the outside. And then what I've done is taken that kind of jug design and then created some illustrated greetings cards from it. So I thought today it would be really interesting for you to see my process, and I'll be sharing the mediums I've been using, and I'm also going to do little swatches of those and then just talk through how I kind of came up with my designs, as well as show you some sketchbook work and yeah, basically share how I've been creating these pieces. So first up, let me just share with you the mediums I've been using, and we'll take a closer look at the colours that I've chosen. So here we are guys, these are all of the materials that I've used in this collaboration, and so I'll just kind of share what we've got on the desk in front of me. So start with these Magic Colour. They are by Speed Dry and they are liquid acrylic. And so you'll see that I've chosen some greens and blues, purple and a grey. I then used these Neocolour pastels or crayons, which are the water soluble. So they produce a lovely grainy texture when they're dry, but then you can also soften them with water. I also used my Inktense pencils, and the colours that I've chosen again mostly are greens and blues. Then we've got our Luminance pencils by Caran d'Ache. So you can see again that I've chosen some blues, different shades of blues, some greens and then some greys. Actually, I've got 3 blues, 3 greens, 3 greys. And then new for me are these little Liquitex acrylic gouache, and I use these in a couple of the designs, but these colours I bought as part of a set. They're actually from this set, 12 pieces. I've been wanting to try out some gouache, so I thought I'd get them because they're part of a set. So from that set I've used the primary blue, the Viridian hue and titanium white. Then we have a few Ecoline brush pens. These ones are from a larger pack. They're actually from the added extra pack, and so some of the shades are a lot more pastel. So we've just got a turquoise and like a spring green, and then just a few little watercolor blocks here. These are actually from the palette that I tested recently that was given to me by Natasha. This one is a Daniel Smith Kyanite. We've got a cerulean blue and a rare green and the fuchsite green there as well. So I thought the next thing I would do then is just swatch on a double page all of these colours so that you can see them a lot clearer. I'm just working in my little Moleskine sketchbook here, and I'm just going to start with the liquid acrylic. These are called Magic Colour, they're from Speed Dry. They are liquid acrylics. If you've used them, they feel a little bit like watercolour, but I would say watercolour on steroids. They're very bright and saturated, and when they dry, they're permanent. But you can mix them like watercolours. So I just wanted to swatch these for you, and then I'm going to do some mixing because that's how I've used them. I've kind of created a few different hues and colours, blues and turquoises. I'll just let you know what colours I've got here. So this one is warm grey, which looks a little bit purpley when you squeeze it out. Then we've got here, this is processed cyan. And then we've got, I think this is, lagoon blue, which is a little bit like cerulean, but it's quite bright. Then we have French chartreuse, I think. This one is gamma green. So yeah, as you can see in the pot, you can't really tell how they're going to turn out. But I'm just going to swatch them first of all so you can see. Gamma green, very, very intense, bright. Then the blue, lagoon blue, which does look like cerulean blue. Then we've got the process cyan, as you would imagine. And finally, the warm grey. As I said, it's a little bit purpley. So when I use inks, I rarely use them straight like this, because you can see they're pretty vibrant colours and quite in your face. But just mixing some of these colours together, you get some lovely, lovely hues. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of blue. So that's kind of calmed it down. And mix in this blue. And this grey, I like to add a little bit of blue to it. Makes it a bit more moody. So you can see how quickly you can create lots of different shades from just a few of those colours. So what I've done with these is I've created basically washes over paper with them. Another thing that I've been using is this wax crayon, which is just basically giving me a little bit of resistance. So I've been creating kind of textures with mixing these inks and then adding this wax to it. And this is what I've been doing with them. I've basically been creating sheets of paper to then cut up and use in my pieces. And because liquid acrylic is very quick to use and you can, lay it down very quickly and it dries really fast as well, it means you can kind of create a lot of texture, a lot of papers very fast, and then you can kind of use them quite quickly as well. So that's what I spent probably a few hours doing, was creating different colours, different papers, and you'll see how I use them in the work in a moment. So the next medium I've been using has been a bit of watercolour, and in particular I've been using these colours. So that is the Daniel Smith Kyanite. It has a really lovely grey, bluey grey finish, and when it dries you can see a little bit of sparkle. This cerulean blue, also been using a bit. Been using, so this is jadeite, and then this is rare green, and then this lovely kind of pastel colour you can see. Which is again Daniel Smith, the Fuchsite colour. You can see they're a little bit more muted than these colours, but again they're a similar kind of range of colour. And with these I generally used them for painting some of the landscape and the background bits in the images. Next medium are these Ecoline brush pens. I don't think I've used these in a video yet, but I do use them in my work, and what I love about them is how, again, they're very pigmented, very nice to work with. You can work with them dry like this, or you can loosen them up with a bit of water. And they're just generally really nice to use. If you've used them, you'll know that they're very juicy. So that is a pastel blue. This is turquoise green. It's a lovely bright colour, which again you can just soften with a bit of water. Look at that. That is a spring green. Lovely. Okay, so the next group of medium I'll just quickly test are these Neocolor 2, and again you can see I've got some blues, greys and greens. I generally use Neocolor 2 with another medium. Normally I'm layering these on top of watercolor or ink, but these generally do go on nicely over most mediums. I love when you can get so much more texture if you lay it on its side than just doing it on top. Another thing I've discovered about these is the white. You know, if you put the white on top, it can really push back the colour. I've quite enjoyed using that in this way in the pieces I've been creating. Just pushing back the colour if I need to with the white. Also using this white on top of other mediums as well, just kind of pushes back the colour a bit if you feel it just is too much. So yeah, you can see you've got a bit of texture now with the neo colour. And then I've got my pencils, and so I've got the Inktense pencils here. You know, I love Inktense pencils. They're very versatile. Again, you can use them to create backgrounds with a wash over the top, or you can then lay them on top once they're dry and create really nice textured finishes. So that's field green. We've got teal green, which are very similar to field green. Ionian green, which is quite similar to this rare green, very similar. And then we've got some blues. So I've got the sea blue, bright blue. I actually have a bright blue in the Inktense paint palette. Then we have an iron blue, which is kind of like an indigo blue. Once you've got deep indigo, you'll see it's very similar. Then I've got a peacock blue, which is a little bit purpley, and just ink black. So yeah, in my drawings I've used them mostly dry because I've been using the liquid acrylic and the watercolour as my kind of watery base. So these have kind of come in to give texture. And then just have the luminance pencils. And again, luminance are really nice. They're very creamy to use. So that's the Payne's Grey, Cobalt Blue. Haven't actually used Cobalt Blue that much, but I did actually use it quite a bit in these pieces. I also have a turquoise blue, a light cobalt blue. This one is a Payne's Grey but 30%. A silver grey. And then we move into the greens. So we've got a malachite green, a cobalt green, and can we fit that in? A spring green. So very similar to this one, spring green. So as you can see, this colour palette is definitely green, blues, greys, and yeah, I've really enjoyed working with these colours. I think my favourite colours are kind of the turquoisey, tealy greens. I just really love this range, this colour here. So yeah, that's a little quick swatch of all of the mediums I've been using. Oh, I almost forgot. I haven't shown you the Liquitex, the gouache Liquitex. Let me just bring these over. So these are really, really cute little bottles. As I said, these came in a set of 12, and so this was the primary blue, titanium white, and viridian hue. And you can pop them off. They have like this little spout, which is kind of cool. And they come out really, you can squeeze the amount that you want. So I've put a tiny amount there. So how I've used them is that I've mixed them together to make a blue which is similar to this blue here. Have like an unusual smell to them, but it is quite nice. So I haven't used acrylic for such a long time, and I wanted to though have a medium that I could combine with my other mediums, and so I just thought I'd give this a try. I'd seen Sandy Hester use these in her work and in her sketchbooks, and I was like, oh, I think I might try them out and see how they work. And I do really like them. Very easy to work with and layer up as well. So most of my work though is water-based, and so it's quite hard to layer up on top. A lot of the mediums I'm using are, a semi-opaque or translucent. So it's unusual, it's a different way of working for me, but I've enjoyed using them. So again, I'm not using them straight out the pot. I have been mixing them, and also then going over the top as well with different medium, or just basically layering them thinly as well on top of each other. Okay, so there we go. That's all of the colours. So that is a very quick whistle-stop look at all the colours I've been using in this collaboration with Pippa, and I'm now going to share with you my kind of sketchbooks and ideas that I kind of used as I went along to think about what I would do for my final pieces. Okay, so I've laid out all my sketchbooks and my kind of ideas, places that I've scribbled stuff, and hopefully I will be able to kind of share my process so that it all makes sense. But if I do lose my way and you get confused, just drop me a message in the comments and I'm sure I will explain it. But hopefully it will all make sense and you'll have an idea of how I produced the pieces for this collaboration. So Pippa and I met about halfway through January, and we just talked about what kind of things we wanted to do. Pippa shared that she would really like to produce a jug which would be inspired by the flowers of the season, and I'd been thinking about also doing something on flowers and wanted to make it seasonal as well. So I had brought my wild flowers of the Lizard Peninsula, because we both live on the Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall, and that was a really nice connection to begin with. So this was just like my little ideas book. I'd kind of come with a very, very quick sketch of an idea. So basically a mug with some flowers and then bits of sea related things. This was just a really, really rough sketch of my thoughts. And so Pippa then shared with me that she wanted to do something with the snowdrops. And we both actually thought that would be a really nice flower to spend some time thinking about and spend some time just drawing. So we then talked about that, and as she described the shape of vase that she was going to produce, I then kind of did some sketches as she was talking and kind of thought about how it would look. So that's inspired these sketches. I then started looking at the work of Winifred Nicholson, who was an artist. Well, she did a lot of flower-based pieces which kind of had a view behind. So they were normally based on a windowsill. And so I kind of did these couple of studies just really quickly again. I think this one is actually based on one of her paintings, and this one I think was just me kind of messing around or playing around with that kind of idea of a little vase being on a windowsill. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. Whilst I was just kind of percolating about these ideas, I was also sketching outside, and this was what I was working on one of my times outside. This is my big A4 sketchbook, and the day that I went out to sketch this, it was very rainy and murky, and you can see the landscape was a lot kind of softer, and yeah, you can actually see that the rain kind of affected the texture of this piece. But what I really loved was just this landscape. So this is around Mullion, and so I was thinking, how can I include landscape into my collaboration? So this was also in my mind as I was thinking about this work. How can I actually incorporate something that I love to draw and do into the final piece? So going back to this book, I started to just paint with the acrylic inks and just started swatching the colours. As you can see, I got a bit kind of carried away just with my greens and blues. So rather than keep it just in this book, that's when I started to create the textures, because then I had an idea that I would like to use some collage in the pieces. I also knew that the final pieces would be square, so they'd be around this size. So that's when I started to also then create little drawings based on my drawing in my sketchbook. So at this point, Pippa actually sent me a picture of the pot that she'd been working on. She had actually just fired it and it had cooled down, and she sent me a picture of it, and it was lovely to receive it because I kind of then gave me more of an idea of what I wanted to do with for my response. And then it was from that picture then that I started to sketch the pot, and you can see again me colour testing up here and here. This one's quite a loose watercolour, me just playing around, and then this one uses more of the layering technique with the pencils and the crayons, and yeah, I really enjoyed creating these colours as well, and the layering as well. This is where I discovered combining the white pastel with the blue softened the blue and gave me more colours. I actually did a few more here, so you can see. So with this one I actually did a very dark background and then worked on top of it with the crayons just to knock back that dark background and give texture. I quite liked the effect that it had. So once I'd done a few pots and had worked on those, I then was thinking, how do I bring my landscape and the pot together, which is where I then had the idea. And you can see, going back to this idea, I decided I'd like to have the pot on a windowsill and then that background behind. So you can see that image here was inspired by the drawings I had done on location. And again, I was trying out different colours, and there you can see it's a lighter one. I thought this was quite dark, and I wondered whether it'd actually be a bit too dark for a greetings card. It looks a bit too sombre. So that's when I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just lighten it up a bit. Oh, and this one is just, I was just thinking about the background and thinking if it was like really green and how that would affect the pot. So I really like this idea, but I felt like the pot also was getting a bit kind of lost. And so my thoughts was that I would then collage the pot on top of the landscape that I would draw, and that way it might give it a bit more separation and come out from the page. So anyway, those were all my sketchbook ideas and thoughts that I had. And so these were all in my mind as I was approaching my final pieces. So I'm going to share those now, and hopefully you'll be able to see the connections between those and this sketchbook work. So here are my finished pieces. I will give you a close-up of each one of them and talk through the process that I used to create them. So we'll start with this one down here. This is the piece that was based on that landscape that I had in my A4 book. And you can see what I've done is I've just brightened up that landscape to make it look a lot more kind of spring-like rather than winter. And then you can see that the vase and the windowsill is collaged along with the snowdrops that are coming out. My favourite bits of this piece are the textures that were created with the collage, and I really like the movement as well on this bit of land here. The second one I worked on was this one. So this is the piece that I used liquid acrylic and then also the Liquitex acrylic gouache. And it's actually quite hard to see, but the way I created this was I did a completely blue background and then painted the negative space. So this blue background was created with the liquid acrylic, and then over the top I've kind of layered the pencil and the Neocolor too. So it has a slightly different effect, kind of texture to the smoothness of the gouache. Also this little leaf here has been collaged on. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this one, and I hope that I'll be able to work in this way on some more pieces. I then worked on another little pot. I thought I'd just keep it really simple and just have it on the white so you can really see the textures that were created through the inks and also the resist, the wax resist. So the white is basically the white of the paper through the wax resist. And yeah, there's loads of blues and textures in this that I really, really like. Mostly, yeah, so this was mostly, again, acrylic, liquid acrylic, and then pencil and collage, and a bit of watercolour as well. After doing the first one with the landscape behind, I wanted to try a different landscape behind. And so this is actually of Godrevy Lighthouse, which actually features in some of Pippa's paintings, because Pippa also paints. And I thought it was nice to include one of a subject matter that she enjoys painting. And also with this one, I was a little bit more looser with my liquid acrylic. I was being a bit more abstract. So this started off with just a couple of swooshes across the page, and I didn't know at that point what I was going to do with the landscape behind, but it just started to come together. And you know, and I put in a horizon line. I then also collaged the vase as well, the jug on top, and I really like that effect again because it kind of brings it out from the landscape. And then finally, this was a bit of a wild card piece. I kind of wasn't really sure what I was doing or what I wanted to really achieve with it. But again, it started off a really loose abstract piece with the inks and some watercolours, and I basically just kept throwing stuff on it, and then finally thought, oh, I'll put some snowdrops on top, collaged them on just to kind of give them a bit of separation. So yeah, this one, I kind of not sure if I like it as much as the others, but I still had a lot of fun creating it. And yeah, I just enjoyed layering up the colours. So yeah, overall, I did really enjoy working on this collaboration. The next part that I've got to do now is to photograph them all and then get them ready to send to print. I think I will just stick though with 4 of them. So these 4 that I will send to print, as I'm just still not certain about this one, but I really like these 4 and hopefully other people will as well. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and yeah, it would be really interesting to hear what your thoughts are on this collaboration. I haven't yet shown Pippa what I've produced, so that'll be exciting to show her and share with her. So hopefully I will include that in this video as well, and you'll get to see her reaction to the pieces as well.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, right, do you want to see the cards or the originals?
Start with cards. Start with
cards. All right. So we've got 4 designs.
Okay.
Okay. Most of them, all of them, have your jug in them.
Lovely.
And then 2 of them have a bit of my landscape work in the background.
Nice. Ooh, how exciting.
Right. I'm quite nervous
ready to see them.
This. Okay, so we've got lovely envelopes that they'll go in.
Always nice, good quality envelope.
And okay, right. Here is one of them.
Ooh.
This one is a collage.
Nice.
And is quite a simple rendition.
Oh, I love the textures on the jug. So that's where you've done a wash on.
Yeah, I
paper and
used
collage.
Liquid acrylic inks and then used a wax resist. Did that as a collage, and then on top I put Inktense pencils and luminance pencils.
Very cool.
Just to try and get...
When it's on the back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've caught my jug. Yeah. Very nice.
Okay.
Got the colours, definitely. Nailed the colours.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll put that one there.
Gorgeous.
Okay. Now this one is of a jug with
a
bit of the landscape behind.
Oh, I like that. That is really nice.
One of that landscape is actually one that's in my
sketchbook,
but it's a little bit brighter.
Is that mullion?
It is. It is
very nice. Is it on like? Would you say it's on like a windowsill?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's on like a slate kind of windowsill.
Slate windowsill.
Again,
lovely.
Taking references from your
workshop
picture.
Yeah.
That you sent.
I love a bit of slate. Very nice. Oh yeah, I like it with the background. That's very cool. I can feel it. I can feel it sitting on the windowsill, enjoying the view.
Brilliant. Okay, this one again is
Ooh.
similar to the collage one, so it's just your jug, but I wanted the focus on your jug.
Yeah, I love the colour. This is my kind of colour. Right there, could live in that colour. And have you used something different on this one? This is like crayons?
So no, this one is a mix. This is when I took the acrylic gouache,
okay,
which I haven't used before.
Oh,
But I wanted to use it, and what I did was actually I layered it first of all with a wash of liquid acrylic, and then I kind of started painting the negative space so that the dark blue of the paper became your jug.
Okay.
And then I put on the background first, and then came back to that, and then started working on that
nice
with, again, textures, crayons, and
nice. And I like how it's reflected in the shadow as well. Oh,
and
very nice.
This, you'll see when you see the original. This is actually collaged on.
Okay, little green
stems. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, for the snowdrops.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love the colour.
Okay. Put that there. And the final one.
Ooh, oh, it's got a lighthouse. That's so pretty. Is that Gadrivi?
Yeah.
Love Gadrivi. Such a good lighthouse. Oh, and it's got little snowdrops on the edge.
Yeah.
And that colour again.
Well, I noticed in your paintings that you have painted Gadrivi Lighthouse.
I have quite a few times.
So I was like, I want to include a landscape that Pippa likes.
I do love it over there. It's the light.
Yeah.
It's just always so dramatic.
Yeah.
You can be there for like a couple of hours and it just changes completely. It's so cool. I think that's my favourite. It's got the lighthouse in it. Really nice. Yeah, I'd definitely frame that one. Put that on my wall.
Cool. Brilliant. Okay,
Very
so
nice.
those are the cards that I think, yes, go well with your pot.
Yes, absolutely. Nailed the colours.
And then I'll just
nailed the jug.
Here are the originals.
Oh, the originals.
So you can have a close look.
I love an original. Ooh. Yeah, so you've got all the collage on top.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Oh, yeah, you can see the gouache.
You see the texture.
Yeah, you can, yeah. I actually think that's come out in really nice colour in the card. Yeah, it's come out a little bit lighter, hasn't it?
Mm.
Fresh. Ooh, that is a nice original right there.
Yeah.
The way you've painted that lighthouse and the rocks around it. So nice. And I really like that little
bit of a blob.
Yeah, in the sky. That is really cool. Nice. Oh, yes.
That one.
That one. Love that one. Very cool. Yeah, I think your landscapes add a lot.
Well, that's what I was thinking, was that I wanted our collaboration to be what I like doing and then what you obviously like doing as well.
Yeah.
And then
bringing the two together. Yeah.
So
definitely done that. Very nice.
Yay.
Yeah, I think you should print this one bigger.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like it.
I do. It's really nice.
Maybe I should just make a bigger one.
Yeah, you
Just
could
a
do.
bigger painting.
Yeah. You got to recapture this.
Yeah, I really liked doing this. Actually.
Yeah.
And what, you know how this one started? It started really abstract.
Oh, really?
Like you could see it started with this.
Oh, yeah, in the background,
wash.
yeah.
I just basically put a load of wash on and I just slapped it with a big brush. And
Okay.
I didn't know it was going to be a landscape.
Oh, really? It just formed?
Yeah.
Ah.
I put in a horizon line.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then I had another one of these jugs that I'd collaged, put that on top. But I was like, I need something behind it that is, you know, something that's Cornish and that is landscape.
A little focal point.
Yeah, so I thought, no, we'll put Gadrivi.
It's nice because the composition kind of like leads you round the snowdrops and to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yay.
Woo!
Okay, brilliant.
Nailed
Thank
it.
you. So I hope you really enjoyed seeing the process and finding out a bit more about the project that I've been working on these last couple of weeks. As I said, we're hoping to launch this product in the next week or so, and you'll be able to buy the product on both of our shop sites, and if you're local there'll be an option for you to pick up in person. But yeah, I'm really excited to launch it with Pippa and see how it is received. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you again really soon.